I'm Tyler with PolyMagic. Today we're in Raymore Mow. We're going to show you how we fix a bump up in the garage. This is your garage approach. Clearly theirs has settled significantly. It's pretty common in this area, really any area where you have, clay concentrated soils, you're going to have a lot of movement. It's also a matter of compaction. All perimeters of every home that's built with fill, you end up having settlement on the perimeter, the same way you can see a paint line on the side of a house, 10 years after it's built. That happens in front of your house too. There's just a driveway that's spanning that gap. Where this slab used to be right here flush with the garage entrance. Obviously the rebar connections fell out of the bottom of the garage entry slab. We're borderline to the frost footing underneath this entryway. It is a pretty simple fix. We come in here, we drill a series of 5/8 inch pilot holes in 2 rows. We'll wet down your concrete so that if any of that expelling foam hits the surface, it won't stain it.
I'm Bobby with PolyMagic. I've been with the company for about 11 years, been the lead tech for about 8.
So what we're doing now, after we drilled the 5/8 holes, we got our dial indicators set up. The dial indicators are going to measure the movement of the slab, and they measure up to thousandths of an inch. What we're waiting for right now is for my chemical to heat up, my hose to heat up. As soon as they get up to temperature, we're going to be ready to shoot.
We'll shoot each hole, step back, see how much it lifts, and then we'll go back and recycle those holes until we get the lift that's desired. Once we do that, we'll patch back all of the holes that we've shot with concrete patch. You won't be able to know we were here other than the 5/8 inch patch, which will fade in time. You'll always know that there's a 5/8 inch pilot hole, but again, it will fade over time. The walkway will also need to be lifted. Anytime you're lifting these approaches and they have sidewalk connections, we also have to lift the walkway, or otherwise we'll cause damage with the rebar connection and or leave a trip hazard, which nobody wants. This one's significant enough that it's starting to cause vehicle damage below the cars that are pulling in and out of it. So the reason you would want to do foam over mud primarily is weight savings. Both of these materials are going to adhere to the underneath of the slab that you're shooting them through. Mud is significantly heavier than foam. Mud is somewhere around 100 pounds a cubic foot that you would be attaching to the underneath of a slab, whereas foam is no more than 20 pounds a cubic foot. So it's a huge weight savings that you're achieving, which down the road you can get initial lifts with either one. The difference is one is so heavy that it'll eventually sag that piece of concrete back down faster, whereas foam doesn't add enough weight to really sag it further down. Another reason you'd want to do foam over mud is hole size. Mudjacking is typically a 1.5 inch hole, so pretty noticeable up at the approaches, whereas foam is a 5/8 inch hole, similar to a termite shot if you've ever seen one of those up against a house. Not very noticeable. Actually, this is a pretty good example of about the size of a hole that we're drilling. So we'll show you a little behind the magic on what this stuff really is. It's pretty simple. There's a part A, a part B. It's transfer pumps going to the reactor, where they are then pressurized and heated to the exact temperature they need to be. They'll stay in 2 separate hoses within this one hose length the entire way until it exits the gun. So essentially those 2 materials are not meeting each other until the second they are shot through the pilot holes that we drill. Once they collide, that is when you get the reaction, which is the expansion, and that is when you start to achieve lift. So it's a pretty simple process. Most of these jobs we can get done in roughly 4 hours or so. Obviously you have some that are longer, but the standard approach and walkway, you're in and out in about 4 hours. So as you can see now, there is no more bump. We still have some patching to do, but as you can see, this took less than 2 hours, and we completely have eliminated that drop there. If any of you have a similar issue, feel free to visit polymagic.com. We'd be happy to get you set up for a free estimate. I think you guys will find it's more affordable than folks would expect, and the fact that we can get it done in less than 4 hours is, there's not a whole lot of commitment we need from you guys.